Hi, it's Dave again with Deconstructing Disposables, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We don't have carry-out containers with more catering options here, trays and large serving bowls, whatever. And I wanted to get into that with Scott and Andy, our pros, and really find out what the options are and what the considerations are. Because you can get catering today from almost everybody. So when you do catering, what should you consider when you're serving your food? So, guys, take it away.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. We were talking about this offline a little bit. You can get catering almost anywhere now, beginning with your local grocery store. So if you're an operator and you're trying to figure out how to differentiate yourself and market yourself and grow your business, how do you separate yourselves even from the most simplest forms of catering? So most people think, all right, we're going to have a catering opportunity, so they go naturally just to a black round tray. It's sort of been the standard for almost 40 years now. But you have to understand there's other options out there. We have examples here. We have shapes that you can use, rectangulars, there's squares, there's even triangles. We can change colors. We don't have to necessarily have black, but white is even an option. And then there's also sustainable options as well. There's bamboo and palm products, and then there's sugarcane, wheat, and bagasse. So even from sustainable options, there's a host of options for you to differentiate yourself and be different no matter who you're trying to market yourself towards. But it's important to understand that the display of the product really is critically tied from the food to the packaging. And sometimes the eye will see things differently on black than white. We're so trained to seeing black, especially from grocery stores and just the industry from the last 40 years, that sometimes moving it to a different color product will sometimes allow the food to pop a little bit differently, or just catch your customer's eyes a little bit differently and help elevate the idea of your presentation.
Well, I'm thinking too, we've talked about marketing and branding. If I'm a caterer or anybody doing catering and I all of a sudden switch from this black, which you say has been the standard for a long time, to something as beautiful as some of the white pieces you've got there, maybe my catering prices go up just a little bit. Maybe I can charge a little bit more because it seems like a better value, a little bit higher end catering operation. And then if I go to this, that's pretty special stuff. So this all is beautiful, these options, and I wouldn't have guessed this before this episode.
The big thing is to understand really who you are selling your catering to, and understanding whether you're going to a social environment. So is it going to someone's house and they're going to do a picnic? Or is it going to a corporate location where it's lawyers in suits and accountants and anything really in a corporate environment, so that you can understand and say, hey, all right, we're going to use this for your higher end places because we can get a little higher price point like you mentioned earlier. Or it kind of goes back into looking at true tabletop in what your world was, and saying porcelain, and understanding how can the chef design the catering to make it look really presentable and high end to the customers. Looking at, will this display better as a wide bowl versus a tall bowl?
And the other thing I was looking at here is some of these really lend themselves to pass around too, carrying it around. And I know these are disposable, but they really don't look disposable. Some of them look like they could easily go into a dishwasher and maybe be reused.
Some of you can reuse. The big thing too is understanding from stationary and passing around is also transportation of the product, and understanding, can the products stack nicely so when you have them in the car, will they slide around? This product right here, the lid is a little recessed, so it's a nice stackable container. And that's a big portion with regards to transport.
Now, the white pieces I'm looking at right there, lids for those as well?
Correct.
All liddable.
Yes.
Is that a word? Liddable? I think so.
I think that's...
We just made it up.
You got it in
we
a
got
hashtag.
It. Okay. This has all been great stuff. It's a little bit different out of our character. Any other points that we want to let our viewers know?
I think it's critical, again, to touch on, whether it's a social event, weddings, anniversaries, large parties, whether a social event can be 10 people to 300 people to corporate events. What are you really trying to do with the food? As we talk about porcelain and other materials, we have a lot of times where caterers are coming to us and their clients really want to focus on the food. And maybe it's a budgetary issue and they're trying to figure out how do they get the right food to the people, and they don't have the budget for the glassware and they don't have the budget for all the porcelain and some of these other items. You can really make a great presentation with these items, allow the the food to still be the main focus of what you're trying to present as the caterer, and still have a beautiful upscale program with any of these disposables. Again, I mean, even down to the details of serving spoons and using something that looks like silver when it's still a plastic and disposable
Yeah, I was just going to mention, we're going to do another episode down the road on utensils and the flatware, the cutlery, if you will. But these serving pieces look gorgeous too, so great. Today's tip?
Tip of the day is market to your client's eyes. Allow yourself to use the packaging to be a little bit different and to help create an opportunity for the food to present itself and be eye-catching and really stand out and make a special opportunity for the clients that you're trying to present to.
All good advice again. Listen, that's it, folks, from Deconstructing Disposables. We'll see you next time.